other states with more than one language, such as Hawaii. But to be a state of the United States, English has to be the principal language. Well, Senator Santorum said that was a misquote. He said he didn't say that, and he's sort of right. He didn't say exactly that. What he said to the newspaper was also caught on camera. Here's what he said.
We have to speak English. That would be a requirement. It's a requirement that we put on other states. It's a condition for entering the Union. And we are not doing anybody on this island a favor by not following the law, which is that this is a society that will speak English in addition to speaking Spanish.
Okay, so he did say they'd have to speak English. That would be a requirement. That's a requirement we put on other states for a condition of joining the Union. Then Santorum softened his stance a little bit. Listen.
What I said is English has to be learned as a language, and this has to be a country where English is widely spoken and used, yes.
Should it be a requirement for this territory to become a state?
I think English and Spanish. Obviously, Spanish is going to be spoken here in the island. But this needs to be a bilingual country.
Okay, so by Thursday, then it kind of had moved to it's got to be a bilingual country. That was in the same, though, press conference. Santorum kind of went back to what he had said originally. Here's what he said.
What if there's an overwhelming movement by the Puerto Rican people to use our state could, except they don't want that English?
Well, I think that will be a condition. I think it's important.
Okay, so if they don't want the English language, he's saying English will be a condition. Mitt Romney's campaign, smelling blood in the water, sent out their own response with this quote. Puerto Rico currently recognizes both English and Spanish as the official languages of the Commonwealth. Governor Romney believes that English is the language of opportunity and supports efforts to expand English proficiency in Puerto Rico and across America. However, he would not, as a prerequisite for statehood, require that the people of Puerto Rico cease using Spanish. Which, come on, Senator Santorum never said that at all. It brings us to Puerto Rico's Republican governor. His name is Luis Fortuño, and he joins us this morning. It's nice to see you, sir. What do you make of this whole debate back and forth where candidates are kind of saying things and backing off and then doubling down on the original statements?
Well, Soledad, there's a lot of excitement down here about the primary that will be occurring on Sunday, and I believe this will bring out even more voters. Having said that, however, I'd like to clarify the whole thing. We are proud to be Americans. We actually speak both languages. Actually, both English and Spanish have been our official languages for over 100 years. Having said that, however, as a father of triplets, I can tell you one thing. English is the language of opportunity. Spanish is the language of our heritage, and we want to preserve both.
Okay, so Rick Santorum also said this when he was talking to Jim Acosta, who's a CNN correspondent. He said, obviously, Spanish needs to be spoken on the island, but this needs to be a bilingual country, not just a Spanish-speaking country. He said this, right now it's overwhelmingly Spanish-speaking, but it needs to have, in order to integrate into American society, English has to be a language that is spoken here and spoken universally. And when I heard that, I thought Puerto Ricans were integrated into American society. Am I wrong about that?
Of course, we're not a separate country. Well, you're right, and actually we're not a separate country, and actually Governor Romney has shown respect for exactly our heritage and our history, understands it better, and that's why I'm supporting Governor Romney. Because he has shown respect towards our community.
So ultimately, do you think all of this is about a lack of understanding of the role of Puerto Rico?
Well, and perhaps that may be it. We have actually contributed men and women to every single war that our nation has fought since 1917, in greater numbers than most states. Actually, in the recent war on terror, Puerto Rico has contributed more men and women in uniform than every state but one. And we're proud of that. And I can tell you that we're proud to be part of this mosaic that it actually composes the greatest nation in the world. And again, there's a lot of excitement about Sunday's primaries, and I believe turnout will be perhaps greater than people thought at the beginning.
And maybe it will be now because of all this conversation. I'm curious to know, Mitt Romney, he supports English only, correct? So some people have said, listen, there's not a tremendous difference at the end of the day between what these two candidates believe.
Well, let me tell you, Mitt Romney has been clear down here about his commitment, number one, to protect our border. And most people across the country believe that protecting a border is just talking about the southwestern border. That's wrong. That's like blocking your front door and leaving open the back door. Our Caribbean border, the nation's Caribbean border, is Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. And actually, the drug smugglers are coming through here to actually distribute drugs in the eastern seaboard, all the way from Miami to Boston, and that has to be stopped. And Mitt Romney has committed to provide the necessary assets to stop that. He has also committed to create jobs and to include Puerto Rico as a territory, but include us as part of the nation in any pro-growth initiative to create jobs across America, because jobs in Puerto Rico are American jobs as well.
So you think
and thirdly, he has committed to respect.
Go ahead, sir.
Sorry, you were saying?
Forgive me for interrupting.
And thirdly, he has committed actually to respect the will of the people and the voters on November 6th on a plebiscite on our political status. So again, if we want to win the hearts and minds of Hispanic voters across America, you have to understand what Hispanic voters care about. We care about public safety, we care about education, we care about lowering taxes and creating the proper conditions to create jobs. And Mitt Romney has done that down here in Puerto Rico.
Well, we'll see how this goes when the primary happens. Governor Luis Fortuño, nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate your time.
My pleasure. Good day.
Thank you, likewise. Still ahead on Starting Point this morning. We're talking about